see the guys respond the way that you all wanted them from
Definitely. Today, yeah. We all echoed that message, both offense, defense, special teams. We all wanted to echo that message that Coach, talked to the guys about Saturday. And I thought they did a nice job responding. It's just now, how do we continue to try to stack blocks, stack days, and not have 2 up, 1 down, like I've kind of mentioned to you guys in the past, is trying to be able to do a good job of, all right, every single day that we come out here, bringing the right energy, the right enthusiasm, and playing the game physically. That's what this brand of football that we play here at Kentucky is supposed to be, physical, and I think we did some nice things today.
He was talking about needing leaders to emerge.
Yeah.
How hard is that for Devin? Because you want your quarterback to be a leader, but I'm sure he's still trying to find his spot in this locker room.
That's exactly right. It's not easy right away. He's more right now of a lead by example, trying to do the right things. He's trying to learn the offense and all that, and by nature, he's not really a fiery guy, but he's up here every single day with all the wideouts and all the tight ends watching film, and he does all the right things in terms of the things that you're asking the quarterback to do. So once, I think, after spring and he gains a little bit more of these guys' respect and relationships with those guys, I think maybe he can take the next step from a leadership standpoint.
You think that's the right step? Like, he doesn't need to push it now?
No, it's not anything that needs to occur right now. He needs to kind of more so worry about himself, stay in his lane in a sense, while also reaching and touching these kids in terms of, hey, maybe after the play, just going and grabbing them and talking about maybe what they saw and what they could do better on that play. But in terms of vocally and being out in front, it's probably just not the time right now.
Do you think it's better now than say, August to be trying to figure out, who the leaders are, who's going to step up, and it gives you kind of that cushion to figure that out?
For sure. We always talk about spring being about development, and whereas training camp's really competition, right? Competition because you're getting ready to go play a game. Luckily for us right now, we're not going to play a game, but it allows us time to develop these kids in terms of both obviously on the field, but also off the field, all right, in the classroom, all right, socially. How do we get these kids to be able to do the right things all the time and then come in and be a leader? We have time to develop that, and we have so many new faces. I was kind of reading Eli Cox's notes last week, and I really agreed with him. Some of these guys don't even really know each other that well. So it is hard once you haven't really done this quite yet, and then get out in front and start talking that talk. You better have their respect first, and this is the time for it. So I am glad that it's happening now as opposed to in the fall.
How do you kind of balance the stressing the physicality, but in an offense where it's a little more outside zone, it's a little more throwing the football?
It's more so right now the balance, because we have 3 of our road dogs at tight end out. We have Bates, you got Dingle, and you got Caddis out right now, which is that's difficult on an offense when you're trying to establish a run game and get better at running the football. I think we took huge steps today running the football. Did some really good things. I thought Ray Davis really showed up in a nice way today. Jagger Burton's taken huge steps for us. So it's more, all right, how do we focus on the 5, O-line, and the back in the run game? And then maybe we get some of the wideouts involved in doing some different things in the quarterback, because at the point of attack, we don't have that guy right now. Because Isaiah Cummings and Kamari Anderson, those guys are young. That's not really their deal. So I thought today was a step in the right direction in terms of running the football and being physical like we're trying to be.
What do you like about Ray's skill set? How does you envision it?
He's got really good vision. He's a one-cut back. He made a few today, boy, that he just kind of rode the wave, and then once it cleared, and he was right through the hole. So I think he has good vision. He's a smart player. He's a really smart football player. He's a smart kid. And he understands all the combinations. He understands, he wants to know the why behind all the runs. So I think that really gives him a leg up in terms of his knowledge of the game and what things are happening up in front of him, to be able to give him the best possibility to be successful, which I thought he had a really good day today.
Liam, you mentioned Jagger.
Yeah.
How much more comfortable is he getting? I don't think people realize how hard that position is if you've never done it before.
The last 3 days, today I don't know if you'd say he had the best of the 3, but his previous 2, all right, were really good. If I was taking one positive out of the last couple practices, really, it was Jagger in a couple ways in terms of getting better, the snaps, comfort level, playing that position, making the calls. He took a huge step over the last few days, which I was really happy to see. And it is not easy. When you haven't touched the football every play, and you have to now do that and make the calls and snap and communicate, and then, by the way, go block a behemoth, it's not easy to do. So I was really pleased with him over the last few days.
In addition to
his
the
athleticism as to what you all want to try to do.
Really good. I'd love to be able to get some of the things going in terms of maybe we can start pulling him a little bit and using him on the edge and the perimeter, and it fits his mold, his body type. You look at the Jason Kelsey's of the world, guys like that. In terms of, if you're talking about comps, in terms of body comp, very similar in a lot of ways. Jagger's athletic, not as big as some of the other guys, but he can use that athleticism to his advantage, all right, by being able to work on angles and reach block and things like that. So it gives us some flexibility. By the way, we can just flip-flop him and Eli back. So this is great learning experience for both of those guys.
in addition to the development part of spring, it's also a big recruiting time.
Yeah.
How have you kind of had to reintegrate yourself, and is there some guys that you may have already had established relationships with that you can kind of just pick back up?
So every day we're kind of meeting at 3:30 with the recruiting staff. We've been doing this for the last X amount of weeks, or last 2 months really, where every day we're doing football. Like right now we'll go watch the film as a staff, break for lunch, in the afternoon get ready for really tomorrow's walkthrough and all that, and then at 3:30 this afternoon we'll get with the recruiting staff and we're watching film. We got kids on FaceTime, and we're kind of doing it as a group together every day, and every day is a new position group. So I think we're doing a nice job in terms of being on the same page, knowing the guys that we're trying to target right now. And then obviously when you've had some prior relationships with guys that maybe we were in on really early when I was here the first time, that helps us build that relationship and to be able to hopefully take it to the next level.
In that evaluating process, is your voice maybe louder this go around than the previous
I would
time?
say, probably a little bit, just in terms of, I didn't really 100% know what we were always looking for in terms of just, I wasn't here for that long of recruiting. It was COVID that first spring. So we weren't on the road. We weren't really doing much. Kids weren't coming on campus. And then the summer we had camp here, which really helped me kind of really get a gauge for some of the players and things like that. And this go around, you kind of have a better feel for the numbers, now the portal, and all those kind of things, and being able to really kind of work it as you would in an NFL roster.
Liam, you're looking at guys as a group in the recruiting process. Is there a position that's maybe the toughest to evaluate as a group, or beats the most debate?
I think quarterback's one of them. Quarterback's a difficult position to evaluate at this level. Until you really get with them and work with them in person, it's hard at times to watch a huddle tape, sometimes from like 8 miles in the sky, and see a kid's motion and how he can play the game. So I'd say quarterback, in terms of we got to get him on campus, we got to see him in person to be able to do that. Wideouts is kind of easy. You see the guy toasting somebody, man, they might have a chance. Tight end can be a little bit difficult. Well, these guys have done a great job evaluating and recruiting tight ends. That's one where you're like, all right, am I going after a big wideout, right? Or am I going after somebody who maybe played a little bit like inline tight end, a bigger guy, where you have to maybe look at the differences in some of those positions. And then running back can be a little bit difficult at times as well, because don't know the competition he's playing against. He might be making these guys look like fools, but who is he playing against and things like that. But those are the things I'm looking at right now, which is, I think, helping my evaluation process as we move forward.
Liam, you were talking about Ray. He described the circuitous route he took to get here.
Yeah.
And I got to think that forces a kid to grow up pretty quickly. How much of that do you think helps when it comes to the football?
Enormously. I sat down with Ray and really kind of dove into his background and to his past, and you see what he's been through, what he's gone through to get to this point in life, and you can only really feel proud for the kid, and it shows. It's a direct correlation between the way he is as a person, the things he's been through, and to get to the point that he's at right now, and the way he approaches things. It's a direct correlation.
Have you seen the video of him playing against Kentucky?
I did. That was one of the films I watched. Yeah, I was pleased. It was one of those things where you saw some of the things that Chris was really good at, right? We just hand him the ball. It might not be perfect, and it's 4 yards. And you hand him the ball, it might not be perfect. He runs to an arm tackle, and then it's 6. And you started to see, as the game went on, you saw him get stronger and you saw him get better, which I thought was a huge asset that Chris Rodriguez had. So you saw some parallels, while also different body type, different type of player, but also some of those tough yards and being able to wear somebody down towards the end of the game. You definitely saw show up.
Liam, Josh Jones was the guy that was here, I think, last time you were with us, and he missed last year with the injury. Has he kind of started catching up and getting back in?
Yeah, Josh is in competition just like some of those other guys at that right tackle position, and he's doing a good job in terms of working it. And he was banged up the first time I was here, and I think he's improved over the last year or so. But, just like a lot of those guys that are competing for that position, is a long way to go. Long way to go for us to get to a point of trust to be able to play somebody at that position. Now, they're all working on it. I really appreciate and love their work. But it's about continuing to do that snap in and snap out and being as consistent as possible.
Folks, thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, I can do one more if you
Okay,
want.
last
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Stoops talked Saturday about just
Yeah.
the monotony of this time of the
Yeah,
year and
yeah.
having to teach guys sort of to embrace this part of the process. What can you do as a coaching staff to sort of work through that and have guys enjoy this part of the season?
You felt that a little bit last week. Towards the end of the last week, you kind of felt a little monotony, but it was like we've only had a few practices now, right? But when you're going against each other, and we've been doing some of these things for a while now, it does get like that. Today, the biggest thing for us was, guys, this has to be player-led. It has to come from you. We're running around screaming about effort and enthusiasm and energy. We're not going to be good enough. But today, you saw these kids take it upon themselves to bring the energy and bring the juice and play fast and play and have fun. Today, you felt both sides of the ball having fun while also competing at a high level. So ultimately, you just try to show them that it's not about us, it's about them. And you saw that today.
Tayvion, you obviously, when you signed to play up at Kentucky, Liam was the coordinator. Things changed. Now that he's back, what's that been like for your game?
It's been awesome. Finally get to play for the guy I came here to play for, and playing the offense that I fell in love with when I was in the portal. So, I mean, it's been fun. It's been a process. I'm still learning because he just got here. So,
How has your roles or responsibilities maybe slightly changed since getting this new offensive coordinator?
I'm still in the same position, still running kind of the same routes. He just challenged me a little bit, playing a little faster, staying healthy, playing hard in practice so I get that stamina up, be able to go all day. But other than that, it's just learning from him.
How do you evaluate last season, just for you individually? I don't think it went the way maybe you wanted to, or when it started. Just what did you learn about yourself, I guess?
Obviously, it didn't go the way I wanted. Obviously, when the switch with the coordinators and then the rocky season. And, the thing I learned about myself was, when situations don't go the way you're supposed to, it doesn't give you an excuse, not give you a full effort to your guys. And I lacked in that area in some aspects in some games. So right now I'm just trying to revamp my image from last year, kind of wipe that season on the rug. It's a new season, new coordinator, some new guys I'm playing with, and, just being team first all the time.
How much fun is
it for you under you here at Kentucky? How much are you relishing, this challenge for you guys to have some leaders now?
I'm relishing a lot. A lot of the guys, older guys, we get more vocal. You hear from a different guy almost every day in practice. It shows we all care. We all want to get better. We didn't have the season we wanted. Offensively, we didn't have the season we wanted. So, we're just trying to revamp the entire image of the offense. And it starts with the coordinator and then all the way down to the guys.
How much fun is it? I know it's because the tight ends are out right now, but when y'all are running a lot of 3 and 4 wide receiver formations.
It's fun until you get tired and you're running about 5-6 plays in a row. But ultimately we're getting better. It gives guys a chance to play different positions, learn different spots, and just build that stamina, be able to run all day. So when the tight ends do come back, we wouldn't have a problem.
We keep hearing about this accuracy that Devin has. What's it mean to you in your position and just a benefit to your game?
It's very beneficial, having a guy who is that accurate. It's completely different, like day and night with the guy we had last year. More rocket arm, a guy who doesn't have that kind of arm, but is very accurate and consistent. And he's the same type of leader. He wants everyone to get better. He's always, I swear, I see his car here all day, every day when I drive by here. But it's been fun. He's a good guy. He's a good leader too.
Maybe on that wide receiver room, still pretty young for as much as those guys played last year. How much do you feel a responsibility to be the veteran leader in there, to kind of lead by example?
It's that exactly. You know, I just try to lead by example. I'm not the biggest vocal guy, and so I do lead by example. And you know, at this point, I'm just pouring everything I can to those guys. Everything I've learned, was taught, seen throughout the years, playing at 2 different conferences, and you know, those guys are really good.
When watching basketball, Noel, he would have some of those passes where I don't think his teammates were ready for it. Are there times when you're at receiver where Devin's maybe throwing a ball and you didn't know that he could throw the ball in that tight of a window?
Yeah, he actually did. He threw a ball like that today. It was a route Dane had ran, and he fitted between a cover 2 corner and the safety, and it was very impressive. But he does stuff like that all the time. You know, he's very smart where he throws the ball. He's consistent, and you know, when we read a defense and we know, we kind of guess where the ball's going to go, and it goes completely different, it does catch us off guard. But, I mean, we're just out there making plays.
Tayvion, what was the experience like Friday for you guys catching passes from Will in front of all the NFL scouts, all the attention that he was bringing from Pro Day to be a part of that?
It was amazing. You know, we all thanked him for the opportunity because he didn't have to ask us to do that. So, you know, it was awesome, you know, kind of getting like a pre-Pro Day for me since this is my last year, but it was fun, you know, out there running routes for the last time for Will.
Okay, folks, thank you very
How
much.
did you feel like the team responded to what Coach Stoops said?
I think we came out here and had a pretty good practice. I think we did some really good things. Both sides of the ball, defense gave us some really good looks. Offensively, I think we was able to really execute our schemes today, execute our plays, and just go out there and have fun. That's kind of what we've been doing. You know, I think today was just a competitive, fun day. You know, guys on defense talking and we're talking, and guys are getting up and getting ready for the next snap. The biggest thing, though, that I've kind of took from what Coach Stoops said is, and it sticks with me a lot, I've been kind of using this same a good amount since I got to college, is, you know, everybody wants to be the man until it's time to be the man. And that's one thing I've always thought about, and not just on the field. You know, I know he spoke about being a leader. I know he said guys need to step up, and that's just in all aspects of life. You know, on and off the field, you got to continue to do your job and continue to be the best person you could be. And that's just something I've always, you know, been big on is, you know, if I want to be the man, I got to be the man on the field and off the field. I got to be the man, you know, in the classroom, in the room with the guys, in my position group, and they're also on the field. So, you know, that's just one thing I've took from that. And I think our team responded today very well.
As a transfer, how hard is it to immediately jump into one of those leadership roles? I assume you're trying to earn the respect of your teammates. You don't want to just assume that that's going to be a thing.
Yeah, no, I've been saying that a long time. Sorry, I'm gonna take this off. I've been saying that a long time. You know, I got to come in and earn the respect of my guys, earn the respect of my peers, and I continue to do that every day. And you know, and that's going to show throughout the time that I'm here. And I think that's going to show to Coach Stoop and my brothers here. So you know, I'm just trying to attack it every day and just earn the respect of my peers.
What's the kind of learning process like when you're running outside zone stuff behind your offensive line? Is it kind of like a quarterback having to know where his receivers are going to be, sort of thing?
You know, running the ball wise, you just gotta kind of know where the receivers are blocking and how they're blocking. Again, you gotta know safety rotation, how they're fitting certain holds. They're going to fit it outside, they're going to fit it inside, and then just knowing again, like if you're going to be one-on-one with that corner, going to be one-on-one with the safety, depending on if he's pressed or he's not pressed. If the receiver's going to go MDM, which is be the safety, so I know I got the corner one-on-one. I may have to make my move a lot sooner rather than the safety. Again, he has to make that transition and fitting it. I think quarterback-wise too, you know, you gotta know, you know, our steps. You know, where I want the ball. If it's going to hit at 5 yards, hit at 7 yards. If I'm too wide, I'm too shallow. So it's a lot of things that go into outside zone. I think a lot of people assume that it's just to hand the ball off and run, but there's so many little details to it. And even if you're just one step wrong, you know, things could hit differently.
Ray, you talked about being the man. You kind of broke that down a little bit. Why is that so challenging? Seems like it'd be a lot of fun, but is that where the line gets drawn?
Yeah, you know, again, there's times to have fun. There's times to, you know, be serious. And I think in this situation where our team is, we're a young team, but we're developing. And, you know, that's when you step between those lines. Like, you know, you need to be serious. You need to be on. You need to be on your A game. You need to show and be a role model to the younger guys who are looking up to you. And obviously, when you're in that locker room, you know, that's where you kind of relax and have fun and just enjoy the moment with the guys. So it definitely is it's a fine line, but, you know, you just got to know when to turn it on and when to turn it off.
Let me see if it's get the synergy that you look for between the offensive line and what you're trying to do.
Say it one more time, sorry.
synergy, the cohesiveness of the offensive line trying to get them, and what you're trying to do with them. How difficult is that?
No, I think again it's a cohesiveness. We got to be able to learn with each other. It's a new group. You got Marcus at the left tackle. You got Horsey. You got Eli. You got Jag, and then you got Flack. So these are guys who've been with each other for many years, but these are guys who I've never been with for as much as 3 weeks. So just learning their tendencies, learning how they like stuff, learning what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, then how I can come in and be the best version of myself and help them. I'm not who I am unless those guys do their job, and they're very important. They're very valuable, and that's just something I got to learn to really nail in with.
Liam really praised Jagger for his progress here lately. What are you seeing up in front of you with the work he's doing there?
Yeah, no, I mean Jagger's taking a big role. It's not hard. It's very hard to play center. You got to be able to make a lot of right calls. You got to be able to do what you need to do. So I praise Jagger a lot for stepping in and taking that position. From what I think he played left guard last year. So again, coming in and playing center is a huge deal. It's like playing quarterback. You got to know what everybody's doing. You got to know defensively, the structures, the front. And I respect him a lot. Again, I don't think I could play that position. But I got a lot of respect for him, and he hasn't complained one bit. He's accepted the challenge, and that's a guy I definitely would respect, and that's a guy I would want to go to war with every day.
Zeke could play that position now.
Yeah.
Coach Coen said you had a big day today, though. Is there anything to that? Like, did you wake up feeling good, or is this more of a product of kind of the last 2 weeks of starting to kind of get to know how this team flows?
Definitely kind of getting to know how the team flows. I wish I could wake up and just say, Ray, have a great day, because I do that every Saturday. I probably win the Heisman. But I think I just came out, and like I said, I took what Coach Stoops said, and I took it to heart, and I knew that if I want to be the leader that I can be, if I want to be the guy that I can be, that I need to come out there and showcase that. I can't take no days off, and I think today was just a step in the direction of, trying to be the best version of myself and trying to show these guys that, they came, and I came here for a reason, and I can show that.
Any defenders doing any particularly good hits or anything?
Oh, I mean, definitely all the guys, really. But I had to shout some guys out. Zion, man, Zion Tunis has been balling his butt off. He's always back there in the secondary every time we get up there. Dion, obviously, but a person that's really been sticking out to me is Trev and D-Jack. Those two linebackers, man. They're young and they're athletic, and all they do is ball. And I think they're making me better because they're fitting certain gaps right. They're a pass protection. I mean, I lost to Trev, but we've been going at it. We got I think it's like 4-4 right now. But those guys are getting me better, man. And without them, man, I really don't think that I'd be the running back I continue to be every day without them coming at me every day.
Ray, what's it like for a guy like you who's played a lot of ball at a high level, but you barely know your new teammates, and yet you want to try to be a leader? What's that challenge?
Man, it's different. Again, I've been on 3 different teams. I've had 3 different OCs. I've had 3 different offensive lines. So it's just about adjusting and really getting familiar with these guys. Any chance I get sitting down with them and eating with them, any chance I get talking to them in the locker room, any chance I get just in the huddle just talking to them, you building that chemistry, building that relationship. That's just something that I needed to do to really understand what those guys see. And I will definitely say, and hopefully nobody comes at me for this, but this might be the best O-line that I've been around, and I've been on 3 different teams. So this is just a very talented, athletic O-line who continues to get better. Eli IQ is just tremendous. Horsey's been here for years, man. So it's a lot of veteranness on this O-line, and I think these guys have got a lot of ball games under their belt to where I'm proud to say I'm happy to be, behind those guys. I'm happy for those guys to be up front and creating the holes we need to get to win.